She's young, wealthy, and more powerful than ever, but Karoline Leavitt's billionaire lifestyle hides a dark side. From secret billionaire donors to political scandals, controversy is brewing. Allegations of financial corruption and backroom deals could expose the truth. Is this unstoppable success, or is the drama about to bring her down? From small-town girl to Washington elite. She wasn't born into wealth. She didn't have a famous last name. Yet, in just a few years, Karoline Leavitt went from a small-town girl in New Hampshire to one of the most powerful figures in Washington, D.C. At just 28 years old, she became the youngest White House press secretary in history, a meteoric rise that has left both her supporters and critics asking, how did she get here so fast? Was it sheer talent and determination, or was she handpicked by a powerful conservative machine, groomed for influence, and strategically placed at the top? Her story isn't just about political ambition, it's about mastering the media, leveraging controversy, and knowing exactly which battles to fight. After a failed congressional run that would have destroyed most careers, Leavitt rebranded herself, using her aggressive media tactics, fierce loyalty to Trump, and strategic alliances within conservative power circles to secure her place in the White House. She wasn't just rising, she was being elevated. But with rapid success comes even more scrutiny. Is she truly a rising star, or is she just another product of political engineering? In an era where media influence, billionaire donors, and backroom deals determine who climbs the ranks in Washington, Leavitt's trajectory seems almost too perfect. Was this the work of a brilliant young woman breaking barriers, or a carefully orchestrated plan by the Republican elite to shape the future of American politics? Comment below, is she the future of conservatism, or just another Washington insider playing the long game? The $10 mansion lavish lifestyle. She built her image as a fearless fighter for the American people, a voice for the working class, but behind closed doors, Karoline Leavitt enjoys a life of wealth, luxury, and elite privilege. Her $10 million Washington, D.C. mansion isn't just a home, it's a command center of influence, where high-profile donors, media strategists, and political insiders meet to shape the future of conservatism. While everyday Americans battle inflation, debt, and economic uncertainty, Leavitt walks on floors of imported Italian marble, hosts gatherings in a private theater, and strategizes in an underground office designed for confidential meetings. But the real question is, how does a 28-year-old, fresh off a failed congressional campaign, afford a lifestyle that rivals Washington's wealthiest power brokers? For Leavitt, luxury isn't just excess, it's a tool of control. Her wardrobe of custom-tailored suits from Chanel, Cartier jewelry, and exclusive Hermes handbags is a carefully curated display of power, but designed to place her among America's political elite. She preaches small government and middle-class values, yet she thrives in the same world of billion-dollar deals, corporate backers, and media manipulation as the establishment she claims to fight. Is she truly an outsider, or just another Washington insider playing the long game? But here's where things get even more controversial: who is bankrolling this empire? With her net worth skyrocketing in just a few years, whispers grow louder about her deep ties to billionaire donors, dark money super PACs, and undisclosed campaign contributions. She claims to be a self-made political force, but are hidden hands in Washington funding her rise? The real question: is Karoline Leavitt a rising political force, or a carefully crafted puppet of Washington's conservative elite? The fashion, the image, the power play. In Washington, power isn't just about policy, it's about image. And Karoline Leavitt has mastered the game, curating a brand built on designer fashion, luxury, and exclusivity. As the youngest White House press secretary in history, she doesn't just stand behind a podium, she makes a statement. Every press briefing, every appearance, every confrontation with the media is carefully styled in power. Dressed in $3,000 custom-tailored Chanel suits, Cartier diamond jewelry, and a collection of Hermes Birkin bags worth more than most Americans' annual salaries, Leavitt isn't just a rising political star, she's Washington's new face of wealth and influence. But here's where the controversy begins. Can you really fight for the working class while dripping in Chanel? As millions of Americans struggle with inflation, layoffs, and rising costs, Leavitt moves through the halls of power in Versace dresses and Christian Louboutin heels. She promotes small government and conservative values, yet her lifestyle mirrors the very elite class her party claims to oppose. Is this a sign of personal success, or a carefully crafted illusion designed to distract from the real power moves happening behind closed doors? Her luxury wardrobe isn't just fashion, it's a political weapon. A Louis Vuitton tote or an Oscar de la Renta gown isn't about style, it's a signal to the elite that she belongs. Every high-end designer label is a statement of status, control, and influence. But does this exclusivity strengthen her image, or does it expose the hypocrisy of modern politics? The media feuds that made her famous. In Washington, winning isn't about policies, it's about commanding attention. And Karoline Leavitt has turned media battles into a high-stakes game of power, influence, and brand building. She doesn't just spar with journalists, she dominates headlines, ignites controversy, and fuels her rapid political ascent. From heated clashes with CNN anchors to explosive showdowns with Whoopi Goldberg on The View. Leavitt has built her career on confrontation, positioning herself as the face of conservative resistance against mainstream media. Her tactics aren't just about policy, they're about controlling the story. When MSNBC's Nicolle Wallace accused her of being either tragically uninformed or lying about tariffs, Leavitt didn't retreat, she used the attack as ammunition, rallying conservative audiences who see her as a fearless fighter against media bias. Every televised argument, every viral moment, every headline controversy isn't a setback, it's a calculated step in her rise to political stardom. This strategy isn't new, but Leavitt has perfected it. In a digital age where outrage fuels clicks and controversy builds influence, she has mastered the art of turning criticism into currency. While traditional politicians focus on policy, she focuses on brand dominance, leveraging media outrage to grow her influence, secure lucrative deals, and solidify her position within the Republican elite. She's not just pushing back against the press, she's redefining how modern politicians use the media to build power. Whether she's clashing with TV hosts, dismantling reporters, or doubling down on conservative talking points, each battle reinforces her standing as one of the most talked about figures in right-wing politics. In an era where viral moments matter more than legislative wins, Karoline Leavitt isn't just surviving, she's thriving. Controversial policies, political firestorms. Karoline Leavitt isn't just a rising political figure, she's a strategist, a disruptor, and a master of controversy. Every move she makes is designed to keep her name at the center of America's most heated debates. From freezing federal funding to redefining gender recognition laws, her policies are not just legislation. They are weapons in a larger battle for control over the country's future. To her base, she's a fearless conservative warrior challenging the status quo. To her opponents, she's a calculated opportunist leveraging outrage for power. Either way, she dominates the conversation. Leavitt's policies are engineered to provoke, divide, and energize. Her decision to skip the White House Correspondents' Dinner, an event that unites political and media elites, was a bold rejection of Washington's power structure. Instead of participating, she used the moment to reinforce her outsider image, fueling the narrative that she is fighting against corrupt institutions. It wasn't just an absence, it was a political statement, a message to her supporters that she refuses to play by the establishment's rules. But it's not just political stunts, it's branding. In today's media-driven political landscape, controversy isn't a weakness, it's a currency. By aligning herself with divisive issues and making headlines on platforms like Fox News, Breitbart, and the Daily Wire, Leavitt keeps her influence growing. Her policies are as much about impact as they are about strategy. She doesn't just push an agenda, she shapes the narrative, forcing America to react. Her rise isn't just about ideology, it's about mastering the media, leveraging cultural battles, and solidifying her place among the most powerful voices in conservatism. In the battle for influence, Karoline Leavitt isn't backing down, she's just getting started. The secret marriage that shocked Washington. In Washington, marriage isn't just about love, it's about influence, alliances, and power. At just 28, Karoline Leavitt, the youngest White House press secretary in history, made headlines not just for her rapid political rise, but for her secret marriage to 60-year-old businessman Nicholas Riccio. A union like this doesn't go unnoticed. Was this a whirlwind romance, or a calculated partnership designed to secure her place among America's conservative elite? Riccio isn't just another businessman, he's a key player with deep Republican donor connections, corporate lobbying ties, and access to Washington's inner circle. Since their marriage, his influence in conservative politics has grown quietly but significantly, fueling speculation about whether this relationship is about personal devotion or a high-stakes political arrangement. Critics argue that Leavitt, known for her aggressive climb through the ranks of conservative politics, saw an opportunity to secure long-term financial and political backing. Others highlight the 32-year age gap, questioning whether this is a genuine love story or the ultimate strategic move in a city where influence is everything. Leavitt has built her brand on outsider politics, portraying herself as a fighter against the establishment. But her marriage to a wealthy Republican power broker raises questions about whether she is truly the anti-establishment warrior she claims to be, or if she has simply mastered the game better than anyone else. In Washington, loyalty, money, and connections are the real currency, and this marriage puts Leavitt at the epicenter of conservative influence. Whether a carefully orchestrated alliance or a genuine connection, one thing is undeniable: Karoline Leavitt is no ordinary politician. Every move she makes, from policy battles to personal relationships, is a step towards solidifying her power. Her marriage isn't just a personal milestone, it's a political statement, a power shift, and a defining moment in her rise to the top of the Republican elite. Political comeback, how she rose from defeat. Washington doesn't reward the weak, it elevates those who know how to play the game. When Karoline Leavitt lost her congressional race, many assumed her rapid political rise had finally hit a dead end. But in politics, failure isn't the finish line, it's a reset button. Just months later, she returned stronger than ever, securing a top role in a pro-Trump super PAC before landing the ultimate prize, White House press secretary. Was this a story of sheer resilience, or was it something much bigger, a carefully orchestrated comeback backed by conservative billionaires, right-wing media giants, and deep Washington connections? Few politicians recover this fast without serious backing. Leavitt's return wasn't a stroke of luck, it was a masterclass in political strategy. Tied to powerful donors, Fox News influencers, and elite Republican fundraisers, she turned her failed campaign into a springboard for greater influence. Instead of fading into obscurity, she leveraged the loss to reinforce her brand, using controversy, media battles, and high-profile alliances to fuel her return to power. But was this rise truly organic? In Washington, sudden comebacks rarely happen without a network pulling the strings. From exclusive fundraising events with corporate lobbyists to strategic partnerships with MAGA power players, Leavitt's resurgence was anything but accidental. Her financial ties run deep, her media influence is growing, and her position in the conservative movement is now stronger than ever. Leavitt's comeback is proof that modern politics is less about qualifications and more about branding, media dominance, and access to billionaire-funded war chests. While everyday Americans struggle for opportunities, DC. Insiders operate in a different world, one where losing is just a temporary setback before the next calculated move. Whether she's a political mastermind or simply a well-placed figure in a much larger game, one thing is undeniable. Karoline Leavitt isn't just back, she's more powerful than ever. The scandals that could bring her down. Power in Washington comes at a price, and Karoline Leavitt's meteoric rise has left a trail of financial red flags that can't be ignored. As her influence grows, so do the whispers of mismanaged funds, undisclosed contributions, and a financial empire built on shadowy backers. How does a 28-year-old, fresh off a failed congressional run, suddenly command millions, own a $10 M mansion, and secure a top-tier position as White House press secretary? The numbers don't add up unless there's more to the story. Leavitt's campaign finances have raised major concerns, with allegations of exceeding legal contribution limits and channeling funds through PACs by ultra-wealthy conservative donors. Investigators are now digging deeper into the financial web surrounding her comeback, questioning whether she is truly a self-made political force or a well-funded product of Washington's most powerful elites. While she brands herself as an outsider fighting against establishment corruption, her financial dealings suggest she may be just another Washington insider playing the same high-stakes game. Her connections to billionaire donors, corporate lobbyists, and secretive funding networks raise an even bigger question: who really controls Karoline Leavitt? Her campaign events are packed with right-wing mega-donors, Wall Street executives, and major media players, all eager to invest in a rising star. But no investment comes without expectation. Is she calling the shots, or is she simply executing a well-funded agenda crafted by those who hold the real power? And then there's her lavish lifestyle, one that doesn't quite match her reported earnings. From luxury vacations at private resorts to designer outfits worth thousands, Leavitt seems to be living like Washington's elite rather than the grassroots conservative she claims to be. Expensive campaign dinners, first-class flights, and elite networking events have all raised eyebrows, with critics asking, is her rise fueled by the people or by the pockets of the powerful? The deeper the scrutiny, the more explosive the controversy. Financial scandals have ended political careers before. Will Leavitt be next? In a city where power is currency, one wrong move could shatter the empire she's built. Her future depends on whether she can outrun the investigations, silence the critics, and keep the money flowing. Because in Washington, the truth always has a price. Lavish wealth, elite connections, and a rise to power like no other. Karoline Leavitt has built an empire. But as investigations heat up and financial scandals surface, the cracks in her story are beginning to show. Is she a self-made success, or just another player in Washington's political machine? With backroom deals, billionaire-funded networks, and growing scrutiny, one wrong move could bring it all crashing down. Her financial records are under intense examination, and whispers of undisclosed donations and dark money backers are growing louder. How deep do these connections go? And what will happen if the truth comes out? In Washington, power isn't just about winning, it's about who funds the victory. And when money talks, loyalty is never guaranteed. Will she survive the storm, or is her empire on the verge of collapse? Power always comes with a price. Like, subscribe and stay tuned because the most shocking revelations are yet to come.